On Valentine's Day, my girlfriend texted, "Going to dinner with the girls instead, will do. Something tomorrow." I replied, "Of course." Then I posted a video of me donating the jewelry I bought to a shelter. The internet loved it until she saw it. I, 34, male, had been with Laura, 33, for almost 4 years. We lived in an expensive, cramped apartment in downtown San Diego, California. My job was senior data architect for a major health tech firm. Laura worked as an events coordinator for a high-end yacht club. I earned 110,000 per year, which felt stretched in this city. Laura brought in 70,000. Our combined income was 180,000. Our lifestyle was defined by her need to keep up appearances. We drove leased German cars and always went to the newest, trendiest coastal restaurants. Her friends were a demanding group of social climbers who constantly judged my lack of urgency in moving up the corporate ladder. Laura frequently referred to my salary as entry-level. For a man my age, my career was about to change drastically, and I kept the process quiet. I had been heavily courted by a rapidly growing data security firm in Austin, Texas. They offered me the role of principal data architect. The financial package was exceptional: a base salary of $190,000, a massive $100,000 signing bonus, and $60,000 in annual equity grants. The total compensation for the first year was a staggering $350,000. They offered full relocation assistance. I shared the offer with Laura over a quiet weeknight dinner. I showed her the official, stamped letter. She barely glanced at the impressive numbers. "Austin?" she asked, dropping her fork with a clatter. "That is a huge downgrade, Daniel. It's a huge promotion," I countered, trying to stay calm. "Principal architect and 190,000 base. We could be financially stable for the first time. San Diego has the ocean and the culture." She stated dismissively, "Austin is just glorified Texas sprawl. The job is a 170,000 raise, Laura," I pointed out, my voice flat. "It gives us the life you claim you want." She pushed her plate away. She looked at me with open scorn. "You are just a senior architect here," she said, her voice dripping with condensation. "You clearly lack the drive to make it big in a real city." I felt a cold certainty settle deep in my chest. Her insults no longer hurt, they simply clarified my path. I nodded slowly. "I understand your position completely," I replied, standing up. "I will be making my decision shortly." She thought she had successfully mocked me back into submission. I knew then and there that I was already gone. Update 1. I formally accepted the principal data architect role in Austin the very next morning. The company was eager for me to start in 6 weeks. I did not mention this final decision to Laura. I immediately started the process of financial separation. I opened 4 new accounts at different banks, ensuring all were solely in my name. I began transferring all my savings and investments into these new, private accounts. I also changed my direct deposit. Laura continued to operate as if I was still waiting for her approval. If I tried to bring up moving or the job, she would immediately shut down the conversation. "The Texas subject is closed, Daniel," she repeated dismissively several times. "Focus on your current firm. You need to earn a real promotion here." "I am securing a real promotion," I corrected her once. She only rolled her eyes. Our mutual friends, who relied on Laura for social access, quickly echoed her sentiment. My friend Mark called me, sounding almost patronizing. "Laura says you got desperate and took a step down in a lesser city," Mark said, his voice laced with judgment. "San Diego status is everything, man. My new role is principal architect, Mark," I clarified, completely devoid of emotion. "It comes with a 100,000 signing bonus." "Sounds like you sold out the coastal life," he concluded, reinforcing Laura's narrative. I let their mockery wash over me, knowing they were validating my decision to leave them all behind. I spent my free time meticulously planning. I secured a flexible, short-term rental in a quiet Austin neighborhood. I researched Texas law regarding common law separation. I made sure every single asset was legally documented and divided on paper. Update 2. My start date was only 10 days away, and the final decision needed to be communicated. I organized a meeting with Laura, claiming we needed to discuss the lease renewal. We met at a public park near our apartment. I was carrying the signed separation agreement. "We need to talk about the apartment," I began, sitting on a bench opposite her. "Good," she stated, crossing her arms. "Tell them we are staying. You need to decline that Texas job." "I have already resigned from my San Diego firm," I informed her plainly. "My last day is Friday." I am flying to Austin next week. The air instantly froze between us. Her smug look vanished, replaced by a mixture of shock and fury. You accepted it without telling me. She hissed, jumping up. You acted completely behind my back. I acted decisively after you publicly mocked my career and ambition. I responded, my voice calm and steady. You said I lacked the drive to succeed in a real city. I am succeeding elsewhere. I was testing your loyalty, Daniel. She insisted, trying to twist the narrative. A real partner fights for the home base. A real partner supports ambition, even when it requires a move. I countered, looking at her without blinking. You showed me your true priorities were superficial. She delivered the inevitable ultimatum, her face tight with rage. If you get on that flight, our relationship is over forever. She declared, pointing a shaking finger at me. You choose that sad Austin job over me, right now. I simply picked up my pen and signed the final copy of the separation papers, which detailed the division of our shared property. I choose the principal architect role, I stated, placing the pen down. I choose myself, respect, and my future. She stared at the document, utterly stunned into silence. Her fury evaporated into a defeated realization. She grabbed her purse and walked away without looking back. The betrayal was complete, and so was my liberation. Update 3. The fallout over the next 2 weeks was a textbook display of her instability. Laura launched into an immediate cycle of emotional manipulation. She spent the first week sending torrents of enraged, abusive texts. You will never make it without me. One text read, Austin will destroy you. You are a coward. I am highly confident in my new role. I replied once, before silencing her phone entirely. She then shifted to desperate bargaining, leaving long voicemails offering grand promises of change. I will move with you. I promise I will change. She pleaded over the phone. We can still get married, Daniel. I cannot build a future with someone who fundamentally disrespects me. I stated clearly in a final email. That is not negotiable. When bargaining failed, she entered a state of theatrical depression, posting vague social media updates about abandonment and betrayal. I remained completely logical and detached, focusing only on the final logistical details. Her emotions were merely background noise. Moving day arrived, and Laura was conveniently out of town, having told friends she was on a spa retreat to recover from the stress. I felt incredible relief watching the movers load the container. I handed the key to the landlord and drove east, feeling a profound sense of self-ownership. My new life in Austin started strong. The principal architect role was intellectually rewarding, managing a team of 20 analysts and engineers. I finally felt challenged and respected. My corporate rental apartment was modern and spacious, a true step up from the cramped San Diego unit. The environment was focused on real growth, not superficial status. Update 4. I spent the next 7 months building a new life and routine in Austin. I immediately joined a serious cycling club and attended technical meetups focused on data governance. I found my colleagues and neighbors to be genuine, supportive people. My professional success was immediate. I restructured the company's data flow, which led to a projected efficiency saving of $5 million. My financial status was radically transformed. The $100,000 signing bonus landed in my account right after I started. 6 months in, I used my accumulated savings and bonus money for a substantial down payment on a beautiful, modern 3-bedroom house. The property, valued at $680,000, was in a thriving neighborhood and came with a large yard. I was a homeowner for the first time. Around the 6-month mark, I started receiving calls and texts from old friends and acquaintances. They were confused by the conflicting stories. Laura told everyone you had a mid-life crisis. My old college friend Steven texted. She said you got fired and moved to a tiny apartment in Texas to start over. I am the principal data architect here. I replied, keeping my words factual. I lead a large team and own a home. She claimed you were virtually homeless and she was constantly helping you. He admitted, clearly embarrassed. The extent of Laura's fabricated narrative was astonishing. She had created a complete story of my failure to maintain her image in San Diego. I ignored most of the friend messages, maintaining a polite, factual distance. I let my professional success speak for itself, knowing that the truth was slowly spreading through her circle. Update 5. My firm was named one of the fastest growing data security companies in the country. My role in the growth was highlighted, and I received a significant internal award. I posted a professional photo of me accepting the award, along with a statement about my team's success, on LinkedIn. The post included my full title, the company's valuation, and my professional achievements. The public exposure of my 350K plus life was immediate and undeniable. My inboxes were instantly flooded with panicked, pleading messages from Laura. "Laura, Daniel, you look incredible. I always knew you had this potential. We can still make this work." Laura, "I'm so sorry for everything I said. The San Diego scene is toxic. I should have supported you." Laura, "The 10 guys I bragged about were all terrible. They only wanted temporary things." Her confession that her brag was hollow was the bitterest part of her regret. Old friends and colleagues reached out, offering belated apologies for their judgment and skepticism. I feel like an idiot for believing her version. My former manager emailed me, "We all saw your title and success. Congratulations, thank you," I responded simply. "I am focused on the work here." My family called, expressing immense pride in my career jump and my new house. Their validation of my decision was deeply meaningful. I deleted every single email and text from Laura. The success was the complete, final answer to her betrayal. Update 6. The digital pleading reached a crescendo, and was followed by an inevitable, in-person attempt. I was walking out of a coffee shop near my office one afternoon when I saw Laura waiting near my parked car. She had flown to Austin and clearly tracked me down. She was dressed in a suit, attempting to look professional and serious. "Daniel, thank God," she said, rushing toward me, her eyes wide with desperation. "I knew you were here. I had to see you. This is completely inappropriate." I stated, my voice low and firm, "I am on company time. I came here to show you that I've changed." She insisted, trying to block my access to my car door. "I am ready to embrace the Austin life. I want to build this incredible future with you." "You only want to build a future with the principal data architect," I countered, looking at her without any recognition. "Not the senior architect you called entry level." I was a fool, I admitted. She pleaded, reaching out for my arm. "I was a complete idiot to doubt you. You said I lacked the drive to make it big." I reminded her, crossing my arms over my chest. "You said I would never be enough for you. Now that I earn triple my old salary, suddenly I am enough." She started to cry, large tears rolling down her carefully made-up cheeks. "My heart has changed, Daniel," she insisted. "I love you and I want to be your wife." "Your circumstances changed, Laura," I replied, my voice completely firm. "My circumstances changed, and you decided I was worthy. That is not love." I pulled out my phone and called the non-emergency line for the city police. I did not raise my voice, but I explained I had a former partner who was harassing me on private property. Her eyes widened in panic. "No, please, I will leave," she whispered, turning away immediately. "I am going." She hurried back to her rental car, defeated and humiliated. The final, absolute rejection felt cleansing. Update 7. Laura's final attempts at revenge moved instantly to the legal sphere. I received aggressive, demanding letters from a Los Angeles lawyer. They claimed a percentage of my 100,000 signing bonus and future equity, arguing that the bonus was earned while we were still engaged. The letters were a transparent attempt at intimidation. I immediately forwarded everything to my Austin attorney, Andrew, an expert in contract law. I had documented every financial transaction and every insulting text message. Andrew quickly prepared a counter-response. He noted that the bonus was explicitly compensation for my new role, accepted post-breakup. He also included evidence of her public mockery and betrayal as proof she had no claim. He threatened a countersuit for frivolous litigation. The legal demands stopped entirely. Next, Laura launched a final, desperate social media campaign. Using several anonymous profiles, she posted lengthy, venomous accusations. She claimed I was a ruthless manipulator and that I emotionally abused her to force the breakup. The campaign failed instantly and severely. Mutual friends who had followed her dramatic unraveling stepped in to defend me. They called her out publicly and ruthlessly. "Old friend, Laura, you are pathetic. He is a principal architect. You chose to abandon him. Stop lying. Acquaintance." She said he was a broke, fired failure. The truth is now clear. The public shaming and the clear, undeniable facts of my success destroyed her credibility. Her last few allies retreated. She deleted the accounts within hours and completely vanished from the digital space. Her attempts at revenge had only solidified my reputation and her self-destruction. Update 8. 1 year later. My life was exceptionally fulfilling and financially secure. I had been promoted again, now holding a senior principal data architect title. My base salary was $250,000. My overall compensation package was well over $450,000 annually. I had purchased a second property, a small rental house in a different part of Austin. My net worth had quadrupled. I was in a loving, stable relationship with my new partner, Sarah, an urban planner I met in my cycling club. Sarah was kind, driven, and supportive of my career. I received one final, short message from Laura via an obscure third-party messaging app. Laura, I saw photos of you and Sarah at the house. You have everything I always wanted. I am still single and still in San Diego. I am truly sorry for the words I used. I regret everything. It was a final, honest admission of her deep regret and the painful consequences of her materialism. I felt a quiet sense of victory and closure. I knew I needed to maintain the boundary firmly. Thank you for reaching out, Laura, I replied, keeping it short and formal. I wish you peace and a good future. I blocked the account immediately after sending the reply. There was no need for further contact or reflection. I was far past the memory of her betrayal, fully focused on the bright future I had built. Final update. 3 months ago, I was back in San Diego for a high-level industry conference. I called Laura's father, Robert, who was a decent man, and offered to take him out for lunch. He met me at a quiet restaurant. He looked tired but was genuinely pleased to see me. Daniel, you look fantastic, Robert said, shaking my hand firmly. You are thriving, I can see it. The Austin move was the best decision of my life, I confirmed, smiling. Robert looked down at his hands, taking a moment to gather his thoughts. I need to apologize on behalf of our family, he said, his voice heavy with regret. We taught Laura that money and status were the only measures of a man. We raised a shallow person, he confessed, meeting my gaze. She missed the genuine character and ambition you had because she was too focused on the external price tag. She was very cruel about my potential. I acknowledged gently. She was, he agreed, and now she is watching the life she rejected succeed without her. That is her consequence. I accepted his sincere apology. I recognized that his admission of failure was the final step in my healing. The most profound lesson I took from this entire experience is simple. When someone minimizes your potential or mocks your ambition, it is a statement about their own lack of vision, not your destiny. Do not internalize the insult. Do not argue with their assessment. Instead, quietly use their betrayal as the fuel for your departure and your ascent. Build a successful life that is so undeniable, so full of peace and fulfillment, that your calm happiness becomes the loudest, most complete form of revenge. I am 35 now, a senior principal architect and planning a wedding with Sarah. I am happy, fulfilled, and finally free.